I'm Will, and welcome back to the baldbookgeek. Now, I'm going to talk about a book that has caused a lot of drama across booktube, book Twitter, Goodreads. For many people, booktube friends of mine, people I admire, it caused me to change my opinion on some people when you realise that someone you really did admire is an entitled man-child. And personally, this book has caused problems. I mean, long story short, first review, triggered Swedish girl. Second review, claimed by the bloody publisher. So, no, I'm not happy over that. So let's go there. Let's talk about this book and rip it apart, shall we? So first things first, I want to give you the story. Girl, entitled Rich White Girl, who is a self-insertion for Christine, who is basically a self-insert fanfiction character. This character, so she lies to her parents. So daddy sends her money. And, oh God. Hilarity ensues, and she meets a boy called Pilot Pen, who she manipulates into falling for her. There is also a time travel plot that just feels tacked on and weird, and it just felt rushed. It actually has the makings of a decent, fun, light read. It just doesn't have... It feels unfinished. Like, this book... Basically, I agree with what Strip Cover Lit said. Catcher in the Rye comes to mind. Like, it's got the same beats to it, but it's done in such a poor and clumsy and horrific way. Like, it portrays really unhealthy relationships that I don't think, especially impressionable young people, need to read. Because relationships don't work like this. It is not a great book. I will say it's better than Zenith, but it's still made my sort of top 10 worst books I've ever read, and I've put this book next to people like Morgan Rice, Zenith, and so on. Like, if you're going to write a book like this, write a book like this, but I think it needs a better editor. Like, out of everything, I come out of it thinking, yeah, this isn't a good book, but actually a better editor would make it tolerable, would make it more cohesive. The overdose of just endless pop culture coming at you out of nowhere. Like, they really want to tell you when it's set, when they go forward and back in time. And I'm going to go into a little ranty rant on the self-insertion. I think self-insertion is lazy writing. But before anyone criticises me on that, read the first thing I ever wrote. I was 16, I wrote a book. It was dire. It's 60,000 words of self-insertion, and this is that book, in a weird way. Like, we all write, as writers, we all write our first books that we put away, and then we move on to better, stronger projects. This book really just needs cleaning up. Like, I could fix this book. It's a shame that her publishing career has started with this book, and this book's kind of vanished in the UK. For example, I've not seen it in any Waterstones on the shelves. I've not seen it anywhere. I travel a lot. I've not seen it anywhere, to the point that I think I saw one copy, and that was on the new releases pile, and now it's nowhere. I'm currently seeing this book in the UK. We have a book clearance centre where shops send excess stock of unsold books called The Works, and yeah, I'm seeing stacks of it there. Like, there's a table in my Works, just stacks of this book just left there for £4, and it hasn't been out that long, and that's not a good sign for any book that's come out. I think she has the makings of a good writer. I watched the videos, I saw the blood, sweat and tears that went into this, and I'm thinking maybe she just needed more time. Maybe she needed to write this book, put it aside and write something else. It's very difficult to judge this book without judging Christine, because to be honest, the character is her. I feel like when I read it, it was kind of like a Happy Meal. It had its moments where it was really fun and actually had some nice quotes here and there, but everything else, it just fell apart. Like, towards the end of the book, and when the time travel thing happened, I was like, oh my God. Time travel causes problems, and you do kind of end up thinking, if this character is self-insertion, how autobiographical is it? And it's very difficult like I said, it's very difficult not to judge her based on this book, because it's so obviously her. I think it's a shame that this book is as bad as it is, and it is a shame, and she shouldn't have started a career this way, because like I said, I think Maybe a few books down the line, maybe her next book, if she publishes anything else, will be better. But I think she needs more time to grow. I don't think this book should have come out the way it was. And yeah, it's that simple. This is possibly the worst book I think I've read this year. So I'm Will, as I said. Please comment, like and subscribe as always, and I'll be back later.